So of course that first team is going to be the Essendon Dons here. Man, the Bombers have really made a statement. Like I said when Donnie was talking, is that they're probably the scariest team to play in the top eight right now. I'd be a little more afraid to play Essendon than I would be to play like a Port Adelaide or a Melbourne or any team in that top four right now. To be honest, because each one of them have their faults. I mean, Essendon of course has their faults here, but they're just right now on the hot streak. So what I think is really why they can win the grand final this year is that, of course, Jake Stringer and Darcy Parish. Anytime you talk about the success of a team, you got to throw those two guys in. But I really want to key in on essentially no one expected them to even really make the finals this year. Mid-season, I was getting a lot of hate for saying that they're going to be finals or flag contenders within 3 to 5 seasons. Obviously, that's a good stretch of time. They're here now. So this team is scary, and I just love their pretty much they got nothing on the line in this one. They have no expectations. If they lose the first round to, that really wouldn't be like an indictment to them. But if they go on a run here, they just have everything to gain, and that's a scary team to play against.
Let me go first. Okay, so Essendon, the reason they won't make the grand final, I think the reason I think they can win the grand final, I think they have like the strong midfield.
Mm-hmm.
I think they are kind of lacking in the forward area. I think they don't have the Brisbane forward line, they don't have the Geelong forward line, right? But they do have like the inside 50 kick of Zach Merritt, and it just looks sometimes he just makes it easy. So if you just do the basic things that a forward needs to do rather than doing things over the average, you know what I'm saying? If they, what am I trying to say? If the forwards don't have to play extraordinary, they just have to do exactly what a basic forward needs to do when you have a midfield who can get the ball to you. So I think that's a good reason that's something that they have going for them that some other teams may not have. But also they have some youth problems there. They have some young players in there, and I don't think sometimes if the bigger team might get into you, like not Geelong, but the Dogs, they can be a physical team at times in the midfield. So I don't know if they can really necessarily build up to that pressure. So
for me, I'm not believing all this Essendon hype. I think
Wow,
if any
team
team
like that.
Yeah, I think if any team has the biggest chance of losing, it's Essendon against any of the other 7. I think Essendon just isn't consistent to me. They have great players, they have great spurts, but they don't bring it together on a consistent basis enough to really compete. And I can see them getting a round or two, but making it all the way to the grand finals, I'm not seeing that. The Dogs, who they're going against the first round, I think they're definitely comparable in their play style. It's definitely a strong midfield. It's just finishing shots on either end. I think Essendon they're not consistent enough. It's going to come down to how much they want it, how aggressive they play. It's a possibility, but I'm not buying into it.
Okay, fair enough.
The midfield will have to defend really, like to really win.
Mm-hmm.
I completely agree. All great points. For me, I'm one of those, for people that have watched this channel, they know I'm a momentum guy. I'm one of those. How are you doing in your last 3 games? So right now, it is hard to argue that Essendon is not one of the hottest teams going into the 8 because they have won so many games. They are playing really well, and they are not at 100%. I mean, considering Anthony McDonald, Tip and Woody, who's an absolute excitement machine, has not been on the field the last couple of weeks. Yeah. But here's the thing that I connect with last year is one of the people everybody talks about every year going to the finals is Dusty Martin. Mm-hmm. For Essendon, they've got Jake Stringer, who can be Dusty-like. He can take over a game and literally flip it on its head like that. And when you have a guy like that, and several of these teams in the finals have one player on their team that when push comes to shove, they can literally take over a game. When you have Jake Stringer, when he wants to, he can literally change a game. That is the reason why I think Essendon has a shot to get to the grand final, because if Stringer has a good finals campaign, he is damn near impossible to stop. You just have to hope he's not on target, because if he can put 4 goals away, he is a pain in the ass, plain and simple. Mm-hmm. And then I completely agree with you, Don. Essendon's inconsistency may get them. They are a young team. They have a lot of inexperience. They don't have a lot of finals experience. I mean, as I said in the last episode here, they have not won a final since 2004. There is literally a website with a counter of all of the days that they have not won a final. So there's a lot of pressure on this Essendon team for being an 8 seed. There is a lot of pressure. I think they're of the bottom two teams. They're the ones that a lot of people are looking at going, they got a good shot against the Dogs. And I think they do. But this is the matchup. This is the matchup that'll be quite interesting. Can the Dogs rebound, and can Essendon continue the hot streak that they're on? So that's why I think Essendon can or cannot make a grand final.
I want to add one thing. Talking about Stringer, I know he's can be dusty light, but I also think every one of these teams in the 8 has a player of that caliber, and I think it will fall us down back to the second best player with most of these guys. And Essendon's second best isn't as good as the rest of these teams' second best, in my opinion.
That's a
valid argument. Valid argument.
I like that. Yeah, that's a really good way of looking at that there. We'll see who will be the guy to back up Jake Stringer. Is it the aforementioned Anthony McDonald and Tippenwoody? Very good case you can make there. And I'm just excited to see the matchup of the midfields. I mean, with Darcy Parish going up against some of the big guys that they have with the Western Bulldogs in that midfield, it's going to be a flat-out disposal off in this game.